Hey, welcome back. You can see we didn't get to our timing chain just yet because we don't have a gasket, so it's coming in after lunchtime. So that's from local, which is like double the price. So we've got our intake gasket, one of them is installed. We made sure we cleaned with our gum cleaner the surface of the metal. We went over and over. You're going to pull out dirt and grease, okay, because it absorbs over the years. Make sure that's thoroughly clean. This is an adhesive backing. And now a lot of times you'll just run a big bead and that's fine. But in this case, once I had the gaskets in place and this sitting on there, I had a good strong, which is the thickness of the gasket, an 1/8 of an inch. So I didn't want to put a bead up that strong, that thick. So we're going to do this one now. You're going to come around and you're going to go around the water jacket. And then we'll work that in with the gasket. So that's done. Going to put a bead right here. And we're going to have a bead right here. And we'll put another one right here. That's just to help hold the gasket in place. And we're going to have our last bead all the way around here. Now you don't need to do anything to the intake side, just against the head. There's our bead there. And now, and the embossment, the blue, is up. Make sure that lines up. Okay. And then you're going to just press down firmly and set that. Make sure all your holes line up. Same thing here. That looks pretty good. Then you're going to take another bead and come directly across. You're going to come up here just within 1/4. You don't need too much because this is going to smash. What I give for a controlled machine right about now? That should be good. Do the same thing up here in front. Let's get to my wrist.
Carpal tunnel kicking in.
What's that?
So it's like carpal tunnel kicking in.
Yeah. Alright. And we're going to come over here. We'll put a very thin bead across here. Basically, it's called masting. It's kind of like when you're veneering, just a little bit right there. And you work that into the metal, and that way it bonds against itself. Do not cut this or wipe this. You can cut, well, you could cut this later. That's actually more than I need. Get a little bit right there. All right. Make sure that's clean. All right, now I'm gonna pick up your manifold. We've got our surfaces cleaned, and you're gonna set this back straight down. So line up your ports, your holes, and come straight down. Let that sit there. Check your holes. We're lined up. All right, we're good. And you should have a nice little healthy bead here coming out, which we do. See that? See that big bead? We'll get to that later. Ones that are somewhat flangeless that go in the middle. All right. So I need my Teflon. Is this it?
I believe so, yeah.
All right. Just on the tip. I end up doing them all. It helps to hold them, but it's more important around in and around the water jackets. Just helps to seal. And I got one more here. It'll be a total of 4. These are on the inside. Oh geez, are you kidding me? Every single time.
Popular.
I'm just gonna see who it is. Oh geez. Yes, dear. No, but you're on video. We're filming. Alrighty. Go ahead, bye. The wifey poo.
30 years, right?
Whoa. 31. I need to get, I'll get it. I need to get a 3/8 with the ratchet.
Hey, Drew. Come here. I need my 3/8, the snap-on in the second drawer. The one that closes with the ratchet. I need that 3/8. Involved.
Welcome back to our 454 build, and today is another day, another dollar, and we just got our timing cover gaskets in, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, what I like to do, even though I've already cleaned it, just make double sure that all the surfaces are clean. We're going to be installing our timing cover along with our oil pan. And then we're going to install the water pump and the harmonic balancer. And then basically she'll be ready for a reinstallation. Reach for it. Oh, we're out. All right, so that's pretty damn clean. All right, let's get started. Get our sealant. Not now. Didn't we go through this the last time? See that? Just dab around that. Hey, it just got quieter. Just like that. A little thin there. Just get a little more. Go for an ice cream right about now. How about you? All right. We're just upside down. No big deal. And just kind of work that into the product itself. That's that. And then go ahead and put on another coat. require a cam button. Didn't have one. We'll leave that alone. For what it's worth, I'll be surprised if this engine runs or lasts. Alright, now we have our timing cover. Now keep in mind, this was powder coated, so you want to go over with a Scotch-Brite pad and just wipe this down. You want to break off the glaze. That's about it. So take him, get him back here, line that up. Okay, why aren't we lining up with our hole? Come on, there we are. That's it. Now we can start fastening that down. We're gonna basically use some Loctite blue just to ensure they don't come loose. Just a little dab, one by one. Now keep in mind, our pointer is going to situate right in this location here. Let's see. Yeah, here. And it comes with its own bolts. Okay, so it's to this side and it goes right here. Just like that. This is a nice adjustable billet pointer. And again, as far as the timing, as long as we get it in the ballpark. Where's that Allen wrench I just had? Yep, over here. Next one. There we go. That all locked up firm. That there, that over there. This is the time consumption, just dealing with all these bolts. We got all our threads cleaned. Now, again, this is what we refer to as a junkyard block.
Oops.
The customer was unaware, so were we, until we came across the fact that this thing was literally pulled out of a junkyard. And then when machined upon, they did a half-assed job. They had got a hodgepodge of different pistons. Like I said, some of them that you saw earlier were dished. So what that's going to do is change the compression a bit. Not getting that counter rotation going there. All right, just a few more, and then we'll fasten them all down. These are ARP 12-point stainless. Nice little theme. And at the time we bought all this nice stuff, I mean, this came powder coated just like this. We didn't have to labor or paint it. We didn't realize what the internal was within the motor. Nobody did. Hell, we later learned that this isn't even a 427, which threw us off because theoretically they would have come with 427s back in the day. But I guess they advised the customer that it was a 454. And like I said, on the skirt, it's embossed and stamped. Actually embossed. That's where the lettering is raised. And that'll tell you when it was, in what year and when it was manufactured. I think, is this the last one? Yep. Get that one in there, get started. Now, let's fasten them down. Okay. Just snug them up first. And of course we wanted to keep our Chevy orange theme since the engine was already Chevy orange, which back in the day was Chevy orange. Okay, one more here. Come on, get in there. Okay, these don't need to be too much. You can do this by hand. Basically, about a quarter turn after it gets snug. Good. If you do too much, you can cut and crush the gasket. And you're going to recheck all these bolts after she fires up. It has some heat in the motor for about an hour or so, because they will shrink and can shrink. Now let's do these. Last one. And with that Loctite, it'll just ensure that that holds. All right, my fingerprints off there because that cost extra. Right now we can go ahead and put in that dampener if we want to, but I think we're going to go into the valve cover. I mean the oil pan. So the oil pan too has been prepped. All the surface, if you come in here, you see this? We're going to wipe that down. We bust off the blades. You need to. If you don't, then you're going to have an issue. So this is a one-piece gasket, and I'm going to show you how to properly install this. Line that up. Make sure those all line up with the holes. Okay, see that one is, there we go. You do not put any silicone in and around this gasket like the first guy. What you're going to do is you're going to take some silicone right across here. Just a little dab in the corner. That's it. Do the same thing to this corner, the same thing to the other corner. That's all that's required. And you want to fill up that void. Put that in there, there. Kind of wipe off that excess there. All right, that's done. Now we're going to get the back. Same thing, right here. Work that corner right there. Just a little dab. And do the same to this corner. That's all that's required. Now we can pop on our valve cover. But before we do that, we're going to do the same thing to the top here. Okay? Fill that corner. Fill that corner. And same thing with the two backs. And then do the same thing here. Just a tiny dab and smear that around. Just work that into the pan. That's all you need to do.
That is done. And so too with this. This is done. My hands are clean.
Go visit Dairy Queen again today, huh? Twist that wrist. Twist. Alright, so let's get our pan. We've already got this prepped and installed. I put a bead. Now don't force this in. You want to make sure it works in gradually. I've got 2 O-rings in here, and I put a bead of silicone all the way around. So double check. We've already installed our pump, and that's 55 pounds. And we've already cleaned out the pump. we've thoroughly gone through and cleaned and blew out the bottom end, retorqued everything. Everything's greased. Now this guy is ready to go down. Make sure we line up. Now here's a trick. You want to get all your bolts started before you do anything. Okay, if you want, you can wipe off that little excess. I don't like slop personally. So we're going to start with our corners. Just drop that in for now. We had another one we had to replace. Somebody tried to, I guess, rig that thing up or put a larger bolt in there. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That goes right there. Right there. That's our home. This is a smaller one. You know, the nice thing about Summit, Jegs, or rather ATEC, if you're watching, that's our wholesale division of Summit Racing. They're good people. Incidentally, if you ever want to have great assistance, you ask for Ed Waluce or you ask for Brent Cooper. Those two gentlemen, I deal with them all the time. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. It's just that I deal with them, and I've been dealing with Ed for 6-7 years, and he's always got our back. Buy from him and talk to him each and every day, sometimes multiple. It's how much business we do as a small shop. All right, so that one just barely gets started. What we might end up having to do is take out the washers so we can get it started and then pop them back in later. See, now we're getting a start because we've got to crush this thing down. There we go. So we're going to set these and then get our other socket here. Now these are, I believe, 3/8. Okay, that started. That went down. Here we go there. And we'll come back to these in a minute. Now what we could do is set all of the rest of our bolts. That's caught. Just want to get them catch. Kind of like fenders. You don't want to just fasten one and just work your way around. Want to make sure everything's lined up, everything's plain and level. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get in our smalls. And they are right here. Actually, not smalls, I forgot. Dude, this is a big block. They're all the same. So, except for the two fronts, which are right here. Make sure they get started, don't bind them. If you want to drive these in after they get started with a power tool, that's great, but finish it off by hand. Now what we have to do is install. I got to talk to you, Keith, in a minute. Junior, I'm gonna have you do this. You're gonna put just a little bit. Look at that.
Teflon.
That's factory. Yeah, a little bit of Teflon on here. The white.
Alright.
And then, after which, you're gonna snug that back down. And then I'll come back out, we'll do these, okay? Why don't you guys take a break, we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. So, we have, I'm caught. That's gonna fall. Watch, here comes Mako. All right, so what we're doing here, these are the bottom drain ports for the coolant. I'm probing and making sure that they're clean and open. The reason being is after a number of years, especially a vehicle this old, 69, this thing is what, 56 years old? What you got here? Damn!
That's the
balance?
That's what you paid for it last time, $275. I credit you $275.
Okay, what's my balance?
52263.
Okay, take 22263, and then that leaves trade balance, and we're done.
All right, thank you, sir. You have
All
a
right.
great day.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm all caught up.
Okay, so you got that in there? That's snug? Good. You know, this is the third pan, but if you look here, they screwed up on the powder coating a bit. But compared to what it used to look like, no comparison. All right, so we're gonna plug these guys back up. Gonna take our Teflon. And we're gonna pop on our oil filter, by the way, and we're gonna prime the system once we turn her around. We should put the tool on first. Where is that tool? That's the guy. All right, what I like to do is I'll start them, drive them in, back them out, just work that stuff on the thread. By the way, just so you know, the difference between a big block and a small block as far as mounting, they sit an inch lower than a small block, the big blocks, and they're about situate 3/4 of an inch back. And you notice on Chevrolet especially, there's a bunch of different bolt holes for just that. And then the perches, which this bolts to, are also different, as well as the motor mounts. You got a short and you got a large. So on this, I get to go bump. Nope, that's it. Cool. We'll drive them in with this, and then we'll take the wrench and cinch these down. Now, of course, I didn't spend a whole lot of time detailing this engine. It's just, there's no money in it. But I just wanted to make sure that this block was put back together correctly. So that would have been an issue. And actually, I forgot that spacer plate on the other one. So, I'm gonna have to pop that back off and replace it. Alrighty, well, let's bring this one home. See the plate? Alright, so what do we have left? We have the dampener, the water pump, and Dairy Queen, and I think we're good after that, right?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, oh, she's beautiful. Well, somewhat. I really wish we could have put in that stroker motor. God, I wish we could have done that. Yeah. This thing would have been a beast. But no! It was running when she came in. Define running. Define running. Okay, we got a new keyway in there, and because the old one was jacked up, and we've long since helicoiled that. That's the other thing. You know, that's the thing when these people put this stuff together. It's lipstick on a pig. I mean, look at the paint job. It's not an original Yenko, but it's very decent. It's nice, pretty fair, and it really sets the car along with the wheels. But inside, we got rust on the rear driver's side quarter. You got this junkyard motor here. God only knows from Adam where it actually came from and who exactly worked on it. We know that their workmanship sucks. It's pathetic. All right, something fall? Yes, it did. Our old keyway. Not needed. Okay, so I've got this guy all painted up. Here's the other thing. This guy's really technically no good. Yeah, look. Oh, it's all nice and painted. Look real close and you'll see the chip over time coming through, bleeding through the color, and the fact that this is all rotted and chipped away. This thing is no good. But money, we are obviously not responsible. If you ever come across something like this as a shop, you make sure that you write a disclaimer that you are not responsible for any of this. Because you're not. You're absolutely not. How can you guarantee this crap? Okay, so there she is. Do not hammer this on, and when this is going in, make sure that key stays straight up and not tweaked. Otherwise you'll bind it and screw it up like the other one here. Now, let me get my tool for that. You know what? Take a pause. I gotta get my tool. And it's pretty heavy. I mean, this is a 1,500 pound, but you know, still the weight, and if you're rocking on this, try not to put too much downforce against your engine stand. And like I said, we're about ready to bottom out. Coming up is one thing. It's when we pull down. Up, up, up. That's it. We're good. Now, back this off. Provided there's no stress against here. And that jam nut is locked on, the whole thing should come out. And this is why my tools last forever. Take good care of them. See, that came loose. And get the right tool, get the job done right. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Moroso. All right, so, oh, is it Peach 30? We're not sponsored by Red Bull, but we'd like to be. It's actually good. Them and something else I got from Rockstar, the Extreme Grape. They don't make those anymore. And they got people on eBay charging you an arm and a leg. Are they healthy for you? Nah. But you want to stay away from high fructose corn syrup. Hey, little did you know, this was a health series and an engine building show. Imagine that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna put this little doodad here. And as we're coming over, because of all this weight, it makes it harder to turn. All right. So, we're not gonna work on like a Ford. We're gonna fill that up. Where is that? We got our oil down here. We're using the Lucas Oil High Zinc 20W50, and we're going to use no more than 10% of Lucas Oil stabilizer in this engine. Reason being is because what you saw on those rods. Got to make up for the difference. It's basically a Band-Aid. Yes, it'll hold it over for a little longer, but not forever. You're not going to get the longevity like a new engine or something that was machined correctly. And just so you know, be sure and write your mileage down. rip this off, the date. You want to change these twice a year. So I'll like to write that on here and maybe on the filter. I can do that later. I don't have a marker. Let me see if there's a marker over here. And stay on top of your oil changes. It's basically like having good blood, you know?
Right.
What's today?
16.
7. You saw it, man. You saw it right there. So now we're going to prime our pump with our Earl. And this is their high performance. The Wix filters, which were bought out by Driven, I noticed they're just not available. And that was like a 51560R, R for racing, but it offered the performance, the larger holes, because again, we've got upwards of 50 on the weight of the oil, not to mention the high volume, high pressure pump. So we didn't want this to back up. You put just a little bit around the sides, and you're going to see this is going to drink it up like a sponge. You should be able to get roughly almost 3/4 of a quart in here. Well, this is a large filter. We'll see. You just don't want to pump any air dry. And you're going to see what we're going to do later. I've got that Melling pressurized pump system. But you got that, and then I also have a driver with the drill. We'll probably just do that. We got to pop on a gauge. Yeah. We're about there. That's good enough. All right, so we will save this for later. Okay. After we pour some of that in there, we have to watch not to over pour it. We'll put it back in the quart and just give it to the customer. Okay. So our oil filter is marked. And one important thing about oil filters, you want to torque these down to about 275 foot-pounds. No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't. To show you what to do after I clean this sucker. Okay. Gotta wipe off those fingerprints because that cost extra, you know. Spit shine. All right, so look at all that extra grease pulling. Okay, come around. We're pretty much touching. Okay. I want that to show. And then I'm just going to give it, after it stops turning, maybe like an extra quarter or so. And that's enough. That's it. Take this, and then we pour it straight down. No, just kidding. Do not do that. Go right here or down the distributor hole. Just a little bit right there. Just put like a few capfuls on each corner. And that's all we're going to require, because the oil itself is pretty thick. So again, I only wanted about 10%. That's good enough. It beats nothing. All right, let's put this away. All right, so we can get our oil, our Earl, and we're not going to put the whole thing in because we've already got a quart plus in there. Oh, we're back to this shit again. Look at that. Jeez. All right, so let's come back here and we'll check this later. You know, Drew, I find that engines run a whole lot better with oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than being dry. I don't know why that is. I just heard that. Alright, I don't recall if this thing, because it is bigger real estate, it might hold up to about 6 quarts stock, where the small block is more like 5. So, give that a sec to all fall down. Let's check her out. Let's see. Alright, that is, why is that bent? Straighten that out. Wipe that down. And of course it is fresh, so woo, there we are. We are up there. No more. We're good. Just tweak that back. Boom. Leave her alone. That's it. We still got a little more to fill up within the filter. We'll put that over there. Oh, missed. All right, that's why I never tried out for basketball. Okay, so now our water pump is over here, but I need to find the scraper so we can clean that thing up. And it used to be over here until Dakota touched it. But we've got this one over here. I like the other one. It's sharper, works nicer. So we're gonna clean off all this old material. Not too bad. See what I mean about it being too thick? See? You don't need a lot. All right, so that's one. Here's the other. And I don't want to gouge into the aluminum. Get that all off of there. That's what I like about this thing. Needs to be resharpened. All right, then I'm going to come over here with this guy. It's a little more toward the raft side. I want the fine side. Make sure you're going flush. You want to get a little just round that over. And now let's get our air gun and blow that back out. Look at it. All the paint is falling off. It looks like dookie. Let's just set that down right there. Come around here. Like I said, you don't need a lot. Avoid getting into the holes. Just dab around. That's it. Take our gasket. I'll put the smooth side out, meaning the flat side is on the inside. Get some of that excess off of there. Too bad this wasn't a black motor. All right, same thing here. Next time I'll use orange RTV, huh? There we go. There's a flat side, that's the back. There's the front, it's more rounded. And then what I'm going to do is work that in. And hell, I'll just go to this side over here. And work that on there. That's one side. And I like to file these burrs off just so that water has no obstruction and I have great flow. That's why we filed the heads. In fact, there was a big old piece of metal, like a spike hanging right in the middle. It just kind of adds to obstructing our flow.
Right.
It's just the detail that goes in some of these custom engines. But since, regardless, this ain't a custom engine, we're in there, I want to be able to promote optimum performance. Right, that's done. And connect slowly. There we go. Just like that. All right, now go ahead and set these. I think that's about it, besides getting our gauge. One. Yeah. Tell you what, grab yourself a cool one or a sandwich for the last time. I'm gonna go get my oil pump gauge and set up for the drive. Drew's gonna get some, tape this off so we can touch it. He's gonna touch that up and spray bomb that, and we'll be right back. How's that sound? All right, hey, welcome back. As you see, we've got our water pump on. We touched up our front, geez, you know what's amazing? These never stick initially, and then when you go to pull the tape off, they always bond like crazy. You know that? We'll have to get to this. Ah, there we go. See that? See that? That thing didn't want to come off. One more last one here. Oh, boy, fingers. All right, so there we go. Thing of beauty, huh?
Oh yeah.
Let's come around here. So far we're looking good. We're all set up. We got our gauge. That's our oil pressure. Now this is by a drill and it's cold. And again, this is a Melling Select high volume, high pressure pump. Yeah, I'm starting to slip. Hang on. Yeah, it's coming. And I got a slight leak.
Yeah.
This thing's getting up. Yeah, it's starting to slip and I got a slight leak. Let's see where that leak's coming from.
Back here, I think.
Really? No, I don't think so.
Let's
What is going on? Something wrong with this thing. Oh yeah, this thing is jacked.
Yeah, it's leaking from out there.
Where? Right there?
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, we're just doing right upwards of 70. I would say with this engine running under its own power, we're close to 80. Cold, that's good. So that is our big block Chevy buildup, 454. Or let's see, I don't think we got anything else to do, so I'm gonna capture a shot here. Oh, come on. Thing has a mind of its own. All right. Beautiful. Cranky. Okay. Again, that concludes our big block Chevy build-up. 454. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching. Stay tuned for another video. I'm Jim, your host, Jim's Speed Shop. You're watching American Garage TV. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Until then, we'll catch you next time. Right, Drew?
That's right.
See you then. Thank God we can put this baby away. Take her home.
Telegram from Mr. Billery.
Yeah.